So what is this and what is this not? If you're following along, this is not defunding the police. $47 million is not actually a lot if you compare it to the full police budget and the full budget of Kansas City. And we're asking for just a percentage of accountability to make sure that we can do what the people have asked us to do. Represent their interests, make sure we're looking out for them, make sure that we're listening to black and brown voices, and make sure that when we look to solutions to violent crime, they're solutions that people in Kansas City, that taxpayers in Kansas City, that citizens of Kansas City have voted to support. Not just priorities from those who live outside Kansas City, seem not to like Kansas City, but love to pass laws telling us what to do every other day.
A few moments later.
Yeah, Shannon, it's a record that nobody wanted to see broken. Some people think that policies need to be put in place to address the increase in homicides, and others told us that they still feel like Kansas City is a pretty safe place despite the record numbers of homicides this year. One thing they all agree on, though, is that the increase in crime and violence has to come to a stop.
I grew up here, so it's hard to feel unsafe, but, having that crime rate go up, it is concerning. I know the city's trying to do a lot, but, a little more action would be great. So
all right, guys, so once again, we got to talk about the party of thugs and criminals, the Democrat Party, okay, because they are a party of thugs and criminals. Their party is ran by thugs and criminals, and they go out of their way to actively pass laws and legislation to embolden thugs and criminals, okay? And this story is a prime example of such, as we got to talk about the woke mayor of Kansas City, Mr. Quinton Lucas, who is criticizing the governor of Missouri, Mr. Mike Parson, for using a dog whistle when he described the young scholars, the young astronauts that shot up the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade, killing one woman and injuring dozens of others. He described them as thugs, which apparently, according to this guy, again, is a racist dog whistle. Now, before I get into this story and play this audio clip of this woke mayor boohoo whining and crying racism over what I would call an accurate description of the suspects, because we all know what the suspects look like, but the media won't tell us, the police won't tell us for obvious reasons. We have to talk about how woke this mayor actually really is, okay? He is so woke that he actually sued the state because they were trying to prevent him from defunding the police in Kansas City. But before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Virtual Shield. It has been revealed that thousands of websites share your personal information with social media giants. Most of us know that our every move is being tracked online when we search the web. It is no longer a surprise when we get an ad for a product that we search for online. But what is the extent of this invasion of privacy? A recent report reveals an average of 2,230 companies will send your data to the most popular social media website. This is why myself and tens of thousands of others are starting to protect ourselves and our personal data from this mass invasion of privacy with Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield is the industry-leading VPN offering military-grade protection, a strict no-log policy, and built-in ID monitoring that comes with a massive $1 million identity theft insurance policy. Turning Virtual Shield on only takes 2 clicks, and it instantly helps protect your data from the prying eyes of corporations, ISPs, hackers, mobile carriers, tech giants, and more. You can experience the incredible protection of Virtual Shield with an exclusive 60-day risk-free trial. During this 60-day free trial, you'll be able to enjoy unlimited bandwidth, anonymous browsing, and fast internet speeds across all devices. Don't put your privacy at risk by not using Virtual Shield. Get it now by signing up for free at virtualshield.com/BCP. That is virtualshield.com/BCP. Try it now. You have nothing to lose.
Kansas City, Missouri officials have now filed a lawsuit challenging a new Missouri law dealing with the funding of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. KBC 9's Jackson Kurtz live in Kansas City after speaking with Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas on what he believes is an unconstitutional law. Jackson.
Well, Mayor Lucas says this bill does little for KCPD officers, and many of the things they're asking for, like officer hazard pay, he feels the state is not actually interested in funding for police from state sources. Now, this bill requires Kansas City to use 25% of its general revenue each fiscal year on the city's police department. Missouri voters must approve a constitutional amendment this fall to put the requirement in place. Now, Mayor Lucas says this bill forces other important aspects of the city to go underfunded. He says if the city had local control over the police department, much of this wouldn't be an issue.
We think it's important, however, to stand up for our taxpayers to make sure that Kansas Cityans' voices are heard, and importantly, that we're not defunding our fire department, we're not defunding firefighters, defunding road repairs, and defunding basic services.
Now, we heard from Bill's sponsor and state lawmaker Tony Luke DeMeyer, who calls the mayor's lawsuit the latest push to defund the police. We'll have more on that later this evening. Live in Kansas City, Jackson Kurtz, KMBC 9 News.
Yeah, so when you have a guy like that running your city, it should be no surprise when you get crime and violence and chaos as a result. In fact, in 2023, Kansas City had a record amount of homicides, right? More than ever. Okay, and this is under this guy's watch, who clearly is soft on crime, and he believes that actually, calling criminals what they are, which are thugs, is a racist dog whistle. Okay, so he is going after the governor of the state of Missouri, Mr. Mike Parson, for using this alleged dog whistle. So let's listen here.
He's going to join us later on in this program. After the shooting, he said, we can't let some thugs and criminals just take over and ruin what happened. I gather that's not quite your assessment of what happened that day.
I have respect for the governor. We get along well. I disagree strongly with how he would describe that situation. I certainly do think this was criminal activity. It was lawlessness, and I think that that's troubling. But thugs is a dog whistle in the most classic sense. And I have seen this dog whistle time and again. There's this kind of giant conservative theory on social media now that the reason that mugshots haven't been shown is because the purported defendants are black. And if it were a white defendant, we would have just shown them. That is absolutely preposterous. There are protections to juveniles. Our city has a gun violence problem.
He's going to join us later on.
Right. Absolutely amazing. This guy thinks that calling criminals thugs, which they are, right? If you're a criminal, if you commit a mass shooting, then by definition, you're a thug. Calling them what they are is a dog whistle. You can't call them that, right? You can't call them that. Again, where was this guy, when, Democrats were calling President Trump a thug, right? Even though Trump's not a criminal, but they were calling him a thug. Where was this guy? Silence, crickets. Apparently, it's not a dog whistle to call white people thugs, right? But it's a dog whistle to call, black people thugs. Okay. Again, this is how it works. Even when the black people commit mass shootings, and the reason why you know that these suspects are black is literally because they won't reveal their identities. They always use this nonsense about, they're juveniles. This is why we don't want to reveal their identities. No, that's not what it is. Okay. Because we've seen situations where if the mass shooter is a white juvenile, they will expose the identity immediately. Okay. Ethan Crumley, his identity was out immediately, even though he was a juvenile that committed a mass shooting, but he was white, right? So he fit the narrative. Therefore, they were totally fine with it. Okay. We've seen that there's a policy from the media, the leftist media, when the description of the suspects don't fit the narrative, okay, that the media wants to push. For example, if the suspect is black, they have dreads, they're dark skinned, okay, if they're male, they won't describe the person, right? Because they don't want to play into stereotypes about what criminals look like. And that to me is extremely dangerous, okay? One of the reasons why our society is falling off of a cliff, particularly in these liberal cities, is because of these soft on crime policies and these policies of the liberal media when it comes to trying to protect criminals. They care more about criminals and how criminals are perceived than protecting innocent lives and civilians, law-abiding citizens. This is what they care about, right? They care about criminals. Democrats go out of their way to protect thugs and criminals. Oh, you use mean words to describe a criminal. These people are murderers, okay? They shot a woman in cold blood and she died. She died. Dozens of others got shot while at a Super Bowl parade. Now, who knows exactly why this happened? Okay, apparently it was a dispute, probably gang activity. Okay, probably a bunch of thugs hanging out at the parade, thugs running into each other, and then they end up, trying to shoot and kill each other in public. But regardless, they should be charged as an adult. I don't care how old they are. And we should lock them up in prison for life and throw away the key. That's what we should do. But yet they don't want us to talk about it. They don't want us to call a spade and to say that, hey, this is what it is. And then they wonder why these criminals are so emboldened and they are committing these acts of violence. It's because they know that you have a group of people, Democrats, liberals, that are defending them, right? Being soft on them. Even the illegal immigrants know. Even the illegal immigrants know that, in this city, in this state, the Democrats are soft on the criminals. So we're going to commit crimes in this state, and then we're going to go to a red state, and then we're going to, reap the benefits of the crimes that we committed in blue states by selling the items that we stole in these blue cities. And then we're going to leave the red states and go back to the blue cities to commit crimes, because in the red states, we know we'll be locked up. Blue states, the blue cities, they're soft on crime. It's so obvious that even the illegals know, right? Even they know. And they don't even speak English. Probably can't even read English. And they know. That's how obvious it is. Again, criminals have become emboldened in this country. And it's mayors like this, woke mayors like this, is the reason why, right? The reason why his city is out of control when it comes to homicides, people losing their lives, is because you can see, dude, soft on crime. He wants to defund the police. He don't want you to call a spade a spade. Oh, no, we must defend the criminals, right? These people committed a mass shooting, brother. Right? I think your priority's in the wrong place. So, it is what it is, man. It's just, it's sad to me that these people continue to get voted into office. But again, this is the result, right? You got to deal with the consequences of what you vote for. And the chaos and destruction that you're seeing in Kansas City is a product of the leadership there. You clearly and obviously can see the priorities of the leadership and the results of it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.